Hello everybody. Hello again. Hello. Hope you're having a great day. Hi from Florida. Hello, welcome in. I am going to leave comments on tonight, everybody, as we go through this particular case because I think there'll be a lot of questions. So I think we will just leave comments on, and I think we'll be okay. So I thought probably best to keep the comments on tonight so we can. It's a Christmas miracle, Steffi. Oh, that is a miracle. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, hold on. I got to roll my filing cabinet over. Oh my goodness. Hello. Yes. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Welcome in. I feel that Trump attracts most of the trolls. I agree. I thought we would probably be in good shape tonight since we're talking about something else. So we'll see how it goes. I can always turn them off if I need to, but this indictment's got a lot of information in it that is very interesting. So I think it'll be good to kind of go through and talk about it. So welcome in, everybody. Oh my gosh, of course, Sarah. Yes, happy to. I'm glad you brought it up. It's a very fascinating indictment, actually. Fascinating. Oh my gosh, can you explain the argument? Oh my goodness. Yes, is it Andy Reid or Andread? Yes, oh my gosh, everybody. Things got a little out of control today in the Senate Judiciary Committee, which, isn't the first time that that's happened, for sure. We've had some problems in there before with Senator Grassley. But, there was, in the hearing, they were doing multiple things. One of them had to do with subpoenas because they're trying to get answers about Harlan Crow and Justice Thomas. And there's also some different positions that need to be filled. So they had been debating for weeks and weeks and weeks and had been going back and forth. And the chair said, hey, we need a roll call. It's time to vote, everybody. We've talked enough about it. And then, several senators said, well, we want to say something. And the chair said, well, that time's up, dudes. You've already had your chance, dudes and dudettes. And so we're going to do roll call. So they went ahead with roll call, even though some of the senators were just screaming about it. They were so upset about it. It was very frustrating to watch. It was hard to watch how disrespectful they were. We have a lot of partisan politics going on, which is understandable, but this is just another example of the breakdown of just the most common basic, fundamental politeness. So it was pretty bad. They had 2 rounds. Yeah, they did. Exactly. You're going to crumble his whole. Yeah, exactly. There's just so much going on, and it's a heated situation. That's understandable. But on the other hand, at some point, you do have to recognize you're supposed to be a little bit professional, at least. So I would say the same thing. I don't care which party you are a part of. I think there have been times when, the senators on the other side have been out of line. There have been several instances with Nancy Pelosi that I adamantly disagreed with. So it's not about your party, but if your behavior's out of line, it's out of line. So it's just really unfortunate. It's unfortunate. So yeah, just too bad. Yes, nope, we're just talking about the Senate Judiciary Committee today. And yes, there was debates that had been going on and negotiations that had been going on for a couple of months. And everybody knew they were set to vote today. And instead they decided to just be incredibly rude, very rude in my opinion. And they took the roll call anyway and voted anyway and still went forward. But yeah, it's just really unfortunate that we've devolved. And there's a line too, because if you look over in the House of Commons over in the UK, like they argue about things all the time and they get all worked up. But there's also still this basic common courtesy that's still there. At least I think there is from what I've seen. So Santos's debate, yes. So yeah, Santos is going to be hit pretty hard, I think, tomorrow. I think, yep. I think he's going to get ousted tomorrow. I'm having my cup of tea here. So yes, I came on a few minutes early tonight just to make sure everyone got notified and to give everybody time to kind of come in. We do posh insults in the UK House of Commons. Exactly. Be posh about it. No need to be rude about it in a, unfortunate, rabid way. You can be posh about it. So decorum is not our Congress. True story. I agree completely. I do have for tonight, everybody, I do have the live set to 18 and older because a lot of the language is a bit disturbing. I'm not sure how much good that will do, but it is set that way. So there may be comments here and there that are filtered that normally would not have been filtered, and that's just because of the settings that we have it on for tonight. All I can do is just say that we do have discussions about a lot of, criminal activities here. So viewer discretion advised regarding that. We have a lot going on in this particular case. And I leave it up to everybody, everyone's discretion to moderate your own viewing. But we are just going through a public legal document here. So yes, Sarah, some of the comments are going to get filtered a little bit sometimes. But we should be okay. Again, it's just trying to kind of be careful about that. It's a lot of charges. This is only page 1. I actually ran out of yellow highlighter, everybody. So I did want to leave comments on tonight, everybody, because this is a RICO indictment out of Georgia. This is the updated one that was filed August 5th of 2022. And this is a group of defendants, including one person called Young Thug that you may have heard of. I have not heard of him other than just in passing, but all of these people are being charged with the RICO charge and multiple other counts of other crimes. So this has absolutely nothing to do with politics whatsoever. This is a pure criminal case involving homicide and illegal substances and weapons, and it's just crazy. It's madness. So I did want to keep comments on, so if people had questions as we go through this, I can try to help a little bit to sort out what questions people may have. So it is the first part of it again for count number 1 is going to be the RICO. Now in Georgia, again, RICO is the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. So all of these people were working towards a common goal, a common purpose, and multiple overt acts were done in furtherance of that. Some of the overt acts have been charged as separate counts. Some are not. They don't all have to be illegal. We just have to have a couple of 2 overt acts that have been found in order to find that there was a RICO violation, mandatory 5 years minimum prison in Georgia. So I will walk you through. We've got the RICO charge, which sets out almost 200 overt acts. So we'll go through that. Not a lot of details. And then I will take you through the rest of these counts. Again, they don't do a lot of, we don't do a lot of details until we get to the second half of the indictment. So it shouldn't be bad. Sarah, a lot of the comments are being filtered. Okay. Yeah. I'm just wondering. Yep. Some of them may be, again, I've set us to 18 and over for tonight. So if your comments get shaded or are blinked out, I apologize. I'm just, you have to be a little bit extra creative with your words tonight, just to be a little extra careful for any youngins that are out there coming into the chat tonight. Yes, Sarah. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's just a different setting. again. But this way I thought it would be helpful in order to have comments on to answer questions. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and dive in then. Can we just get muted 5 minutes for the first offense? Yes, yes, you qualify over 18. Yes, and typically that's what we do. My moderators are amazing. They do give out warnings unless something is so blatantly clear of violation of the rules that I've talked with each of the moderators about in one way or another throughout all of these lives. So they're very careful. They're humans, they do make mistakes, so sometimes people accidentally get muted, but we do try our best here, especially when the numbers get too high. Sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to chase the trolls down. So we'll go ahead and get started here. Again, this is the state of Georgia versus multiple defendants here. Actually, there's a total of 28 defendants in this particular case. One of the original case was filed before August, but this is the most recent re-indictment, which is what they're calling it here. So here we go. Fulton County Superior Court. I will take you through the defendants first, who've all been charged, and then we'll go through the different counts, and then we'll get into some more of the details. So now, a lot of these names are just fantastic names. They're just absolutely fantastic, and I feel terrible because I'm probably not going to say them correctly, but I will try to do my best here. So here's our first list of defendants. We have the state of Georgia versus Kaleef Adams, aka Bobby Hunt, Martinez Arnold, aka Duke, Durante BB or Bebe, aka B or aka B. Number 4 is Damone Blaylock or aka Bally. 5 is Jarvis Bradford, aka Tuda. 6 is Justin Cobb. By the way, there will be some language, there will be some words that I will not say, just giving you a heads up on that. Justin Cobb, aka Doo-Wop. 7 is Cordarius Dorsey, aka Polo, aka Juicy. Everybody has an alias, so multiple aliases are listed out. Number 8 is Christian Eppinger, aka Virus. I don't know how to say that one either. Yes. I mean, there's some really amazing names in here, everybody. Okay, next is number 9, Miles Farley, aka Slato or Lil Miles. Number 10 is Javon Fleetwood, Fortray or Psycho. Number 11 is Demikian Garlington, so aka D or I don't know, everybody. What is it? Scarface? Is that what it is? Is it Scarface? Oh no, Frank, your Boop Boop got Oh my gosh, what world are we living in when Boop Boop gets shaded? I'm thinking it's Scarface, everybody. Okay. Yes, please correct me on any of my pronunciation, please, I beg you, because I'm doing my best. Okay, Quantavius Greer, aka Unfunk. 13 is Marquavius Huey, aka Kua, maybe? Kua? Unfunk? Is that what it is? Unfunk? Okay. I have to pronounce the O's different. Unfunk. Thank you very much. Okay. Kia, Kua, Qua. Okay, thank you. Demonte Kendrick or Yak Gotti. Sergio Kitchens, aka Gunna. I Try. Where's I Try? Wait, oh, you try. Okay, thanks. Kiwa. Okay, so it's not Qua. Whoops. All right. Winnie Lee, also known as Slime Life Shoddy. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, everybody. Okay, number 18, Demise McMullen, aka Quay. Is it Quay? Gonna pled out last year. Yes, I think actually there were 3 that pled out total. Demise McMullen, aka Nard, Tanquarius Mender. Tanquarius so far is my favorite name. I have to say that. That is absolutely fantastic name. AKA Nard, AKA Stunna. I don't know about that one. I like Tanquarius. I think that name's gorgeous. Okay. Their aliases, the AKA are they're also known as, yes, pronounced Quay. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right, number 19, Walter Murphy, aka DK. Number 20, Jaden Myrick, also known as Setrip or J-Man. 21 is Quamarvius Nichols, aka Kua again, or Qua, or Kiua. I'm sorry. 22, Rodalius Ryan. Rodalius Ryan, aka Lil Rod. I will only go through their AKAs as I go through their names in this first part. After following this, I will just be using their legal names. That's probably Qua. Okay, where's the post-it? Yeah, that's a great question. Hold on. I'll get it out in a minute here. Okay, Antonio Sledge, aka Mount Tunk. What is that? Oh my gosh. All right, I don't know. 24, Trontavius Stevens, aka Tick or aka Slug. Shannon Stillwell, aka Shannon Jackson or SB. Kuwait, probably pronounced Kuwait. Okay. Montunk. Okay. Montunk, yeah. But it's not, there's no K sound at Monk, so it's not Monk Tunk. I don't know. Silent K. All right, Antonio Sumlin, aka Obama, and that is not the president. Obama. Oh my gosh, Jeffrey Williams. So this is the one that we all know as Young Thug. So this is Mr. Thug himself, aka Slime. The next is Jimmy Winfrey, aka Roscoe. Oh my goodness. And that is the last one. All right. So number 28, Jimmy Winfrey, aka Roscoe. So those are our 28 defendants, everybody. Oh my goodness. I will be using their legal names from this point on. So there you have it. We've got 28 defendants. Now let me take you through the counts here. Number one, again, always seems to be how their RICO cases get charged here. They do the RICO count for number one, and then all the rest of the counts they add on later. So first, we've got conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. Now, I have put the law code section in blue, so if you are interested, I have not pulled every section to see what the punishments are. Those are, what's my AKA? Oh my gosh. I don't know if I should say. I did get an AKA in college. I'm not sure. Oh, I don't know. I might have to think about it. I might have to wait. I might share that in the future, but we'll see. We'll see about that. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm blushing. Oh, is it hot? Is it hot in here? Oh my goodness. All right. Oh, all right. Here we go. So the Georgia Code sections in blue, if you're interested in knowing what the what the penalty is here. So we've got number one, again, is the RICO. Number two is murder. Number three, armed robbery. Number four, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Also, if you note as I read through these, under each person's name, they write out which counts. So for Mr. Adams here, we've got count 1, 40, 42, and 43. So they'll pull the numbers from this side over to that side. All right, next, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, again, so two separate incidences. Possession of a firearm during commission of a felony. Possession of a firearm during commission of a felony. So again, these are separate instances. That's why they're two different counts. They occurred at different times. Number 8 is theft by receiving stolen property. Violations of Georgia Controlled Substances Act, another violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act. Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Participation in criminal street gang activity. So that's another one. Number 13 is theft by receiving stolen property. Number 14, armed robbery. Number 15, armed robbery. Number 16, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Number 17, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Number 18, hijacking a motor vehicle in the first degree. That's really bad. That's a really bad one. Number 19, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. Number 20, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. 21, participation in criminal street gang activity. 22, participation in criminal street gang activity. 23, participation in criminal street gang activity. 24, violation of the Georgia Controlled Substance Act. 25, possession of a firearm by convicted felon. 26, participation in criminal street gang activity. 27, armed robbery. 28, hijacking a motor vehicle in the first degree. 29, possession of a firearm by first offender probationer. Number 30, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. 31, theft by taking. 32, attempted murder. 33, attempted murder. 34, possession of a firearm by a first offender probationer. 35, possession of a firearm by a first offender probationer. 36, possession of a firearm during commission of a felony. 37, possession of a firearm during commission of a felony. 38, participation in criminal street gang activity. 39, participation in criminal street gang activity. 40, attempted murder. 41, possession of a weapon by incarcerated individual. 42, participation in criminal street gang activity. 43, participation in criminal street gang activity. 44, possession of a weapon by an incarcerated individual. 45, yes, if we want to allow the comment. Oh, great, Steffi. 45, possession of a telecommunication device by incarcerated individual. 46, participation in criminal street gang activity. 47, conspiracy to commit a crime. And I think this should be pretty interesting because the RICO itself involves a conspiracy, so this will have to be a separate one. 40, right, so theft by taking has its own set of facts that's a little bit different than other ways. So they do go into the code section. 48, participation in criminal street gang activity. 49 is murder. 50 is participation in criminal street gang activity. It looks like I forgot to circle that one. There were too many murders. I missed one. There we go. Participation in criminal street gang activity. 52 is possession of a firearm by convicted felon previously convicted of a felony involving the use or possession of a firearm. 53, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon previously convicted of felony involving the use or possession of a firearm. Possession of a firearm during commission of a felony. Conspiracy to commit a crime. Participation in criminal street gang activity. Participation in criminal street gang activity. Once I get through this first couple of pages, I will put up a note so everyone knows here. I'm just flipping too quick here. But once I finish up, I will add a note on. 58, violation of Georgia Controlled Substances Act. 59, violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act. 60, violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act. 61, possession of a firearm during commission of a felony. 62, possession of a machine gun. 63, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon previously convicted of a felony involving the use or possession of a firearm. 64, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon previously convicted of a felony involving the use or possession of a firearm. And 65, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon previously convicted of felony involving the use or possession of a firearm. So there you have it, everybody. Those are the charges. So let's go ahead and get into the indictment. Again, an indictment is a finding of probable cause. It is not a finding of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. That's what the trial jury is for. So, and as I learned the hard way from last time, I'm moving the grand jurors list out, so we don't need to go through that. You helped get a felony conviction vacated today. Oh, good for you, Tiffany. Good job. Good job. All right, everybody, let me go ahead and label this so we all know what it is. Would it be okay to just put, so there were firearms. Yeah, there were a few involved. So should I put the Young Thug RICO indictment down? Is that the best one? I don't want to just say a RICO indictment. Should I say Young Thug, or is that too much? He is one of 28. Yes. Okay. Yes. YSL gang. Okay. All right. So we'll do Young Thug, YSL, RICO indictment. There we go. All right, there we are. This is one of Fawny's cases, yes. This, and after we go through it, you'll see why she doesn't care. She doesn't care two bits about some white-collar crime going on with Mr. Trump. She's got stuff going on. She's got some serious stuff going on. So, I think... Oh my gosh, I think it's very interesting. All right, so here we go. Count one, and then they named everybody again. So they named all of the 28 people first. So we've got count one, which will go through the RICO count. So they've all been charged with the offense of conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act for the said accused, together with unindicted co-conspirators in the state of Georgia and the county of Fulton, on or between the 24th day of January 2013 and the 8th day of May of 2022. Did unlawfully conspire to acquire and maintain directly and indirectly an interest in and control of the United States currency and other personal property through a pattern of racketeering activity in violation of Georgia Code, and while associated with an enterprise, did unlawfully conspire to conduct and participate in, directly or indirectly, such enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity in violation of another section of the Georgia Code, as described below and incorporated by reference, as if fully set forth herein, contrary to the law of said state, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. All right, so there we go. Part one, let's talk about the conspiracy here. As associates of the enterprise Young Slime Life, hereinafter YSL, the defendants conspired to associate together and with others for the common purposes of illegally obtaining money and property through a pattern of racketeering activity and conducting and participating in the enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity. In furtherance of the conspiracy, the defendants engaged in activities enumerated herein. The objectives of the conspiracy included, but were not limited to. All right, so preserving, protecting, and enhancing the reputation, power, and territory of the enterprise through acts of racketeering activity, including murder, assault, and threats of violence. Preserving, protecting, and enhancing the reputation, power, and territory of the enterprise by the posting of messages, images, videos, and songs demonstrating allegiance to the enterprise and a willingness to engage in violence on its behalf. Maintaining armed individuals ready and willing to preserve, protect, and enhance the reputation, power, and territory of the enterprise through the use of violence. obtaining money, weapons, and other property through acts of racketeering activity, including robbery, theft, and unlawful sale and distribution of drugs, and obstructing law enforcement investigations and court proceedings through witness intimidation and attacks upon law enforcement officers. Okay. Part 2, the enterprise. YSL is an enterprise consisting of a group of individuals associated in fact, although not a legal entity. YSL constitutes an ongoing organization whose associates function as continuing unit for the common purpose of achieving the objective of the enterprise. B. YSL 1. History. YSL is a criminal street gang that started in the late 2012 in the Cleveland Avenue area of Atlanta, Georgia. YSL claims affiliation with the National Bloods Gang. YSL's founders were Jeffrey Williams, a.k.a. Young Thug, a.k.a. Slime, Walter Murphy, a.k.a. DK, and Trontavious Stevens. Jeffrey Williams, an Atlanta-based hip-hop artist, made YSL a well-known name by referring to it in his songs and on social media. Identifiers. YSL associates use a variety of identifiers, including colors, clothing, tattoos, and hand signs, as well as verbal and written identifiers. YSL claims affiliation with the National Bloods Gang, and some associates also claim the blood subset gangs of this name or 30 Deep. YSL associates often display their colors by wearing a green or red bandana on their person, a practice known as flagging. YSL associates often wear clothing with the letters YSL or the word slime printed on them. YSL associates often wear pendants displaying the letters YSL or the word slat. The most predominant YSL colors are red for bloods and green for slime. Yikes. YSL associates use a variety of hand signs. One of the most common hand signs is wiping the nose with the index finger. Another frequently used YSL hand sign consists of curling the ring and pinky finger inward towards the palm while extending the index and thumb with the middle finger slightly curved. The extended middle and index finger represent the Y. The curved middle finger and curved ring finger represent the S. The extended index finger and thumb represent the L. YSL associates will also make the two guns hand sign by forming pistols with their index fingers and pointing them in opposite directions. All right. YSL associates use a variety of other identifiers. Often YSL associates... I'm sorry, everybody. I need to pause. Every time I see YSL, I think of Yves Saint Laurent. I think of it every single time, and all I see is a tube of lipstick. All right, moving on. Associates will write or say the word blat, which means blood love all the time. YSL associates also use the word slat, which means slime love all the time. Yeah. Often associates will simply refer to each other as blood or slime. All right. They also refer to Cleveland Avenue as Bleveland, replacing the C with a B. Green heart, green snake, blowing nose, and green vomit emojis are symbols commonly used by associates of YSL. All right. Yikes. Primary locale. The YSL associates are predominantly active in southeast Atlanta in the Cleveland Avenue area, but are expanding their activities into surrounding metropolitan Atlanta area. Yikes, everybody. Yikes. All right, so Part 3, Acts in Furtherance of the Conspiracy. In furtherance of the conspiracy and to effect its objectives and purposes, the defendants committed and caused to be committed, among others, the following overt acts, certain of which constitute acts of racketeering activity. All right, so I'll take you through each one of these acts. We're going to go kind of quick. The actual details of these acts are set out more clearly in the counts that follow the second part in the indictment. Here, there's just a couple of sentences explaining what they are. We only need to have 2 of them found in order to find that there was a RICO. Again, the RICO is this common goal and enterprise using racketeering activity to achieve it. So here we go. Number 1, In January of 2013, Stevens, an associate, did commit the felony offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, to wit, a firearm, against the person of Reginald Pettis by pointing at, toward, and in the direction of Reginald with said firearm, placing Reginald in reasonable apprehension of immediately receiving a violent injury in violation of Georgia law, which is an act of racketeering activity under Georgia Code and an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. Now, this particular line will be repeated at the end of every overt act, so I will not repeat it each and every time because that would be a bit much, but there we go. Next, we've got June of 2013. Cobb, an associate of YSL, did commit the felony offense of theft by deception against the person of Johnson by obtaining a firearm by deceitful means from Johnson with the intent of depriving Johnson of said firearm in violation of Georgia law. August of 2013, Ms. Stillwell, an associate of YSL, did commit the felony offense of possession of marijuana with intent to distribute in violation of Georgia law. Again, there's not a lot of details here, but she is charged later, and that count is explained further. Number 4, Williams, an associate of YSL, did commit the felony offense of theft by receiving stolen property. When he possessed property, to wit, a firearm, the property of Phillips and Phillips that Williams knew or should have known was stolen, with the intent of depriving Phillips and Phillips of said property in violation of Georgia law. This was September of 2013. Another September of 2013, Murphy, an associate of YSL, did, with the intent to commit theft, commit a felony offense of attempted armed robbery. Now, the difference between burglary and robbery: burglary involves a building, no person. A robbery involves a person. By taking a substantial step towards the commission of the offense by pointing an offensive weapon, to wit, a firearm, at the person of Dotson and demanding property from or from the immediate presence of Dotson in violation of Georgia law. Another September 2013, Murphy, an associate of YSL, did commit the following offense: aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, to wit, a firearm. 10 years of evidence. Yeah, exactly, Mads, exactly. And that's how these statutes work. You can go all the way back and tie it all together. An object which, when was used offensively against a person, is likely to result in serious bodily injury against the person of Dotson by shooting at, toward, or in the direction of Dotson with said firearm in violation of Georgia law. Again, on September 11th, 2013, that was a bad day for Mr. Murphy. An associate of YSL did commit the felony offense of possession of a firearm by a first offender probationer in violation of Georgia law by possessing a firearm, to wit, a handgun, after having been sentenced pursuant to Article 3 of Chapter 8 of Title 42 of the Official Code of Georgia to a term of probation as a felony first offender for the felony offense of robbery. And then they're citing the indictment here. Next, we have November of 2013. Mr. Sledge, an associate of YSL, did commit the felony offense of possession of cocaine with intent to distribute, cocaine being a controlled substance in violation of Georgia law. Don't do drugs, people. I know it sounds judgy, because it is. All right, now we have April of 2014, so we're catapulting forward here. Mr. Williams, an associate of YSL, did appear in a video released on social media titled Ew, where defendant states, let me just make sure I don't say bad words. Read just like Elmo, but I never giggle. YSL won't fold. Do this off from the balcony, YSL do that. I'm that for the cash, and then she getting robbed by Tick in a Bentley on West Lee, getting trailed by sniper. All I ever wanted was money. Put your hands in the air if you dare. Any person to step over here. Put him in a wheelchair. An overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. Oh my goodness gracious. The language. I'm not a rapper, everybody. I'm not. Lyrics Yes, indeed. So again, they're using this as, thank you, Kristen, I needed that. So they use this as one of the overt acts, describing one of the offenses. All right. July of 2014, Mr. Murphy, an associate of YSL, did pose for a photo released on Murphy's Instagram account with the letters YSL tattooed on his forehead, an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. So you can see this is a Y, an S, and an L. Yikes. And then some other words down here. Oh my goodness. What is happening? All right. September of 2014, Arnold, an associate of YSL, did commit the felony offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, to wit, a firearm, an object which, when used offensively against a person, is likely to result in serious bodily injury against the person of Castellini by shooting at, towards, or in the direction of Castellini with said firearm in violation of Georgia law. Next, we've got, could you slide the paper to the left? Sure, you bet. There you go. Thank you. I'm glad you told me, Mads. Am I what? Bar certified? What does that mean? Am I licensed to practice law? I am. Yes, I am. All right, next up, number 12. In September 27th here, tattooed on the forehead hurts. Yeah, it seems like it would. Yikes. All right. But, to each their own. They have their own artistic expressions. All right. Mr. Garlington, an associate of YSL, did pose for a photo released on Garlington's Instagram account holding what appears to be an AK-47 variant firearm with a red bandana tied around his face, an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. October of 2014, Stevens, an associate, did pose for a photo released on social media wearing a YSL pendant with the caption, YSL Slime Life, an overt act in furtherance. So again, we're just tying all of these people together to the enterprise with this kind of evidence. Next, Mr. Williams did pose for a photo released on social media wearing red clothing and flashing a YSL gang hand sign, which is somehow in this picture. Next, January of 2015, Garlington and Williams did pose for a photo released on Garlington's Instagram account with the caption, we ain't going back and forth, an overt act. All right. January 7th, I'm not licensed to rap. True story. True story. Mr. Williams, an associate, did rent a 2014 silver Infiniti Q50 sedan from Hertz Rent-A-Car, which was used in the commission of the murder of Mr. Thomas, an associate in a rival gang, on the 10th day of January 2015, which is an act of racketeering activity. Yikes! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, so 110 of 2015, we've got Bradford, Cobb, Kendrick, McMillan, and Stillwell did unlawfully and with malice aforethought commit the felony offense of murder by causing the death of Mr. Thomas and an associate of a rival gang, a human being, by shooting him with a firearm in violation of Georgia law. Yikes. Continuing on the 10th in 2015, Bradford, Cobb, Kendrick, McMullen, and Stillwell, unlawfully and with malice aforethought and with the intent to kill, commit the felony offense of attempted murder against the person of Mr. Hendricks, an associate of a rival gang, by shooting Mr. Hendricks with a firearm in violation of Georgia law. January 10th, busy day, everybody. That was a busy day. Bradford, Cobb, Kendrick, McMillan, and Stillwell did unlawfully and with malice aforethought and with the intent to kill, commit the felony offense of attempted murder against the person of Sanders, a rival gang associate, by shooting Sanders with a firearm in violation of Georgia law. January 10th of 2015, Bradford, Cobb, Kendrick, McMullen, and Stillwell. Just remember as well, homicide does not have a statute of limitations. So just FYI. So all of these people did unlawfully commit the felony offense of participation in criminal street gang activity when, while associated with a criminal street gang, to wit, YSL participate in criminal street gang activity through the commission of at least one of the offenses enumerated in paragraph 1, to wit, murder and attempted murder, acts involving violence and possession or use of a weapon in violation of Georgia law. All right. Okay. Next we have January 19th of 2015. Mr. Cobb, an associate, did with the intent to commit a theft, commit a felony offense of attempted armed robbery by taking a substantial step towards the commission of the offense by pointing an offensive weapon, to wit, a firearm, at a person of Mr. White, demanding property from or from the immediate presence of Mr. White in violation of Georgia law. Justin, yeah, it is. This is a lot, isn't it? I am going to take a tea break, actually. Thanks for the lemonade. Yikes. Well, yeah, I mean, homicide literally is the only crime without a statute of limitations. Isn't that interesting? I thought that was very interesting. All right, so next we have, so we just did attempted armed robbery here. We have attempted armed robbery here as well. So next we have Mr. Cobb, the offense again of attempted armed robbery by taking a substantial step towards the commission of an offense by pointing an offensive weapon, to wit, a firearm, at the person of Mr. Luttrell and demanding property from or from the immediate presence of Mr. Luttrell in violation of Georgia law. So this seems to me like the equivalent of what we would call a mugging, right? Is that across all states? Yes, Tiffany, it's across all states. There may be other states that have now put into place some statute of limitations exceptions for some crimes, but homicide is the only one across all states that doesn't have a statute of limitation. Okay. So next we've got January 19th. Mr. Cobb here is charged with attempted murder against the person of Mr. White by shooting Mr. White with a firearm in violation of Georgia law. Mr. Cobb, again, on the 19th, here, again, was charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon by possessing a firearm, to wit, a handgun, and having been convicted of a felony in a previous indictment in the Superior Court of Fulton County, Georgia, for the offense of possession of cocaine on the 24th of January of 2014, an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. Okay. Next, we've got the 25th of January. Let me make sure I'm in frame again. Mr. Williams and Mr. Ory, one of the leaders of the criminal street gang, this one did engage in a conversation with one another, and the conversation stated, "Sacrifices must be made, soldiers must fall in order for battle to be won." The conversation further states this and that, and this and this. This, the AKAs of the 5 leaders of the group in Georgia. Anybody not under one of these individuals in the state of Georgia must line up here. There's no rolling from one to the other. Everything is as if you are one. Then the name again of the gang, nothing added and nothing taken away. An overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. Okay. The 26th of January, oh my goodness, Mr. Williams did appear in a video released on Garlington's Instagram account 16 days after the murder of Mr. Thomas, stating, so a person lied to their mama, lied to their kids, lied to their brothers and sisters, then get right into the courtroom and tell the God's honest truth. Don't get it, y'all. These people need to get this and this from me and YSL. An overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. Now, why would you put that up on your Instagram account? Can I just say that? Can I just say that? Why would you do that? Why people? Why are you doing that? All right. Oh my goodness. February 9th, 2015. Oh my gosh. All right. Mr. Garlington and Mr. Williams did appear in a video released on Garlington's Instagram. Pride. Yeah, you're right. You're right, isn't it? I mean, a big part of this conspiracy had to do with maintaining reputation. So I suppose that's part of it, isn't it? All right. Instagram account displaying YSL gang hand signs and blood gang signs with the caption, "You dig 30 YSL so ming soon," an overt act in furtherance. All right. Defendants Garlington and Stevens did pose for a photo released on his social media wearing red clothing with the caption slime in a bad word with a green snake emoji and a red bee emoji. Again, another overt act. Called it. That's funny. Oh my goodness. Not smart to spill. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. But, I guess I'm not cut out for that kind of work. X in place of C. Really? Oh my gosh. That's very interesting. Okay. Good to know. Next, we have March of 2015, Arnold, Garlington, Kendrick, Stillwell, Williams posed for a photo released on Garlington's Instagram account, flashing the YSL gang hand sign. Another overt act here. And then in April of 2014, you think it was a typo? Could be. I don't know. There's, in Mandarin, they use X's so much. I find it offensive that they're trying to take over the X. I'm just going to put that out there. Defendants, McMillan and Murphy, associates of YSL, did unlawfully, with malice aforethought and with intent to kill, commit the felony offense of attempted murder against the person of Mr. Montgomery by shooting Mr. Montgomery. It's not a typo, okay, with a firearm. Yeah, I bet it's probably not a typo. Yikes. In violation of Georgia law. All right, so we have another attempted murder. Next, we've got, they're using it so they don't use... Really? Oh my gosh, fascinating. Okay, because they're part of the Bloods. Okay, I got it. Oh my goodness, everybody. That is fascinating. X and Q in Mandarin, I agree. The X's and the Q's, I miss them. And so they're fun to see over in Mandarin, but I digress. Here we go. So we've got attempted murder of Mr. Montgomery. Next, we have April 12th. McMullen and Murphy did unlawfully, with malice aforethought, with intent to kill, commit the felony offense of attempted murder against the persons Mr. Davis by shooting at Mr. Davis with a firearm in violation of Georgia law. All right, number 23 here. Mr. McMullen and Mr. Murphy, associates, did unlawfully, with malice aforethought and with the intent to kill, commit the felony offense of attempted murder against the person of Mr. White by shooting Mr. White with a firearm in violation of Georgia law. Next, in April 12th, McMullen and Murphy did unlawfully. There's a lot of people that got shot that day. Let's just look that back up again, everybody. Hold on. What's going on? What's going on here? So here we go. April 12th, we have attempted murder, Mr. Montgomery. We have attempted murder, Mr. Davis. We have attempted murder for Mr. White, attempted murder for Mr. James. So 5 people were shot that day. Yikes. That's a lot. Okay. And then Mr. Murphy, as if that wasn't enough, drive-by, could be. As if that wasn't enough, he was charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, a violation of Georgia law, by possessing a firearm, to wit, a handgun, after having been convicted of a felony indictment, which is this one here, in the Superior Court of Fulton County, Georgia. 2015 was a busy year. Goodness. All right, we're still on April 12th. All right, we've got more going on. So April 12th, it's looking like they're all getting charged with possession. Okay, so McMillan did commit a felony offense of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon in violation of Georgia law. Here, because he had previously been convicted of theft by receiving stolen property, possession of cocaine with intent to distribute, and possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. Sale of cocaine, these are all his priors, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and burglary. So these are Mr. McMullen's priors. Next, Mr. McMullen and Mr. Murphy were charged with participation in criminal street gang activity while associated with a criminal street gang, to wit, the YSL, participate in criminal street gang activity through the commission of at least one of the offenses enumerated in paragraph 1, which is attempted murder. All right. So next we've got the 15th of April, 2015. Mr. Myrick, an associate here, did with the intent to commit a theft, commit the felony offense of armed robbery by taking property, to wit, a handbag, from or from the immediate presence of another, to wit, Miss Craig, by use of an offensive weapon, to wit, a firearm, in violation of Georgia law. Yikes. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right. Next up, we have Mr. Myrick again, charged with an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, a firearm used against person Miss Craig by pointing it at, toward, and in the direction of Miss Craig with said firearm, placing Miss Craig in reasonable apprehension of immediate receiving a violent injury in violation of Georgia law. April 26th of 2015, Jimmy Winfrey, an associate, did commit the felony offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, to wit, a firearm, an object which, when used offensively against a person, is likely to result in serious bodily injury against the person, Mr. Carter, aka Lil Wayne, by shooting at a bus in which Dwayne Carter was a passenger with said firearm in violation of Georgia law. Oh, that's awful. Oh no. Yikes. All right. Next, we've got, on that same day here, charged with participation in criminal street gang activity when, while associated with a criminal street gang, did participate in criminal street gang activity through the commission of at least one of the enumerated in paragraph 1, which was aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. So, yikes. I did take the red nails off for tonight. Okay, April 28th, we've got Garlington and Sledge here did commit the felony offense of aggravated battery by maliciously causing bodily harm and seriously disfiguring, disfiguring Miss Bell by shooting Miss Bell with a firearm, a rifle, in violation of Georgia law. Oh, that's awful. Oh my goodness. That's terrible. All right. Next, Garlington and Sledge did commit the felony offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, a firearm, an object in which used offensively against a person is likely to result in a serious bodily injury against the person of Miss Davis by shooting at and towards and in the direction of Miss Davis with said firearm in violation of Georgia law. April 28th of 2015, Garlington and Sledge, again, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, a firearm, and because they shot at the person of Miss Mills, shooting at, towards, in the direction of Miss Mills with said firearm in violation of Georgia law. Oh my goodness. That's like 4 counts. Garlington and Sledge again, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, shooting at Miss Battle with said firearm, a violation of Georgia law. Again, next we've got Mr. Sledge here, who was charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. He had previously been charged with possession of cocaine with the intent to distribute. Whoa. All right, April 28th of 2015, Garlington and Sledge were charged with participation in criminal street gang activity because they were assaulting these different women. Here, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and aggravated battery for the harm that was done to the first victim. Next, May 21st of 2015, Garlington did pose for a photo holding a firearm with the caption, this, us, if we want to bring them, blah, 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 an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. Here we go. Okay, next. Okay, so July now. We're in July of 2015. Stevens was charged with possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. Again, a violation of Georgia law here. Yodeling, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure the yodeling will help this situation. And that's saying something. Okay, July of 2015, Mr. Stevens again charged with possession of oxycodone, a controlled substance in violation of Georgia law. July 3rd, 2015, was charged possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, previously convicted of felony involving the use or possession of a firearm, violation of Georgia law. Previously had a conviction of possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. Next, we have July 7th of 2015. Mr. Williams did commit the felony offense of this that I'm not going to say out loud when Mr. May, a security officer, while in the performance of his duties, attempted to inform Williams that he was no longer welcome at Perimeter Mall. Williams then stated if May continued to approach, Williams would shoot him in the face with a gun in violation of Georgia law. Oh, that's awful. Oh, that's awful. All right, next we have July 15th. Stevens and Stillwell here, charged with possession of marijuana with the intent to distribute in violation of Georgia law. And July 15th of 2015, Stevens was charged with criminal use of an article with altered ID other than a motor vehicle in violation of Georgia law. Possessing a firearm from which the accused knew the identification mark had been removed for the purpose of concealing and destroying the identity of said article, an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. July 15th again, Mr. Stevens, charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, previously convicted of a felony involving the use or possession of a firearm. Here, by possessing a firearm, to wit a handgun, and having been convicted of a felony in a previous indictment, and the previous conviction was for possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. Next, July 15th, Ms. Stillwell was charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. I'm assuming Shannon is a female. I should not assume that. We'll just say the Stillwell. Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon in violation of Georgia law, pursuant here by possessing a firearm, to wit a handgun, after having been convicted of a felony in a previous indictment in the Superior Court in Fulton County, Georgia, for the offense of participation in criminal street gang activity, burglary, another burglary, and possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. Oh, all right, here we go. And again, this is still the RICO count, everybody. We've only got a few more pages of the RICO count, and then we will get into the details of the other offenses here. So, all right, October 2015, Arnold and Kendrick, conspiracy to commit murder by driving to the territory of a rival gang with the intent to cause the death of another human being in retaliation for a prior shooting by the rival gang while armed with AK-47 assault rifle and a .40 caliber handgun in violation of Georgia law. October 1st, Arnold and Kendrick charged with theft by receiving stolen property when Arnold and Kendrick possessed property, to wit a firearm, the property of Mr. Greer, that Arnold and Kendrick knew or should have known was stolen. Who's going to bunk with yikes? With the intent of depriving Mr. Greer of said property in violation of Georgia law. October 1st, Mr. Kendrick here, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. He had previously been convicted of possession of a dangerous drugs on a shoplifting charge. Next, we've got October 1st, Arnold and Kendrick were charged with participation in criminal street gang activity in violation of Georgia law, along with conspiracy to commit murder. Oh my goodness. I need a different catchphrase, but I don't have one yet. Oh, thank you. All right, so May of 2016. All right, everybody, we're in 2016 now. Mr. Williams released a song on YouTube titled Slime, Bad Word, where lyrics state, oh my gosh, everybody, The lyrics are coming out. Hey, this, that, slime. Hey, YSL. Hey, this. Hey, the in jail. Hey, cooking white bread. Ooh, I'm not new to this. Hey, I'm so true to this. Hey, I drone put a whole slime on a this slime or get slimed. I'm in the VIP and I got that on my hip. You praying that you live. I'm praying that I hey, that slime that. All right, and then more words I can't say. 100 rounds in a Tahoe. I'm prepared to take them down. Got banana clips. Oh my goodness. I'm not repeating this language, everybody. I apologize. Here you go. You can only say every fifth word. Exactly. So there's a whole bunch of language here, and they're saying that again is in furtherance of the conspiracy. Next up, we've got May 11th of 2016. Mr. Eppinger here, an associate, was charged with armed robbery by taking property, a set of keys, and a purse from the immediate presence of another, Miss Hill, by use of offensive weapon, a firearm, in violation of law. Mr. Winfrey here, charged with possession of drugs by an inmate when incarcerated in the Carroll County Prison, did possess illegal drugs, marijuana, beyond the guard lines in violation of Georgia law. Next, now, by the way, we are in 2017, everybody. February here, we've got Mr. Winfrey again, committing the offense of possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, a violation of Georgia law as well. Next, we've got still in, I'm trying to read through it, everybody. I'm trying. February 27th of 2017, Mr. Winfrey again, participation in criminal street gang activity here. And one of the activities was the possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. July 3rd of 2017, we've got Mr. Nichols, possession of MDMA with intent to distribute. Next, July 3rd, 2017, Mr. Nichols, possession of a firearm by a first offender probationer. He was put on probation for criminal damage to property in the second degree. Next, we have July 3rd, 2017, Mr. Nichols again, participation in criminal street activity, and that participation comes from the charge that he was given with the MDMA up here. So that was all on the 3rd of July. Next, we have September of 2017, Kitchens and Williams did commit the felony offense of theft by receiving stolen property when they possessed property, a firearm, a property of Mr. Lewis that Kitchens and Williams knew or should have known was stolen with the intent of depriving Mr. Lewis of said property in violation of Georgia law. September 2017 again, Kitchens and Williams did commit the felony offense of possession of methamphetamine with intent to distribute a controlled substance in violation of law. Let's see, September 24th, continuing on, Kitchens and Williams charged with possession of hydrocodone with intent to distribute, violation of Georgia law. Next, Kitchens and Williams charged with possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. So let's just look here. All right, we've got methamphetamine, we have hydrocodone, we have marijuana, we have theft by receiving stolen property. So what was going on that day? They had a lot of stuff. On them. Then they were charged together again for criminal street gang activity because of all of those different charges. All right, so December of 2017, Sumlin and Williams did appear in a video released on social media captioned "Original Slime Bleep," showing Williams flashing YSL gang signs and stating "Murder Gang, B-word, YSL, until we're dead and pale," and overact in furtherance again. Now we're in 2018, everybody. Next, we've got April. Mr. Williams released a song on YouTube titled "Anybody," with Williams stating, "I never blank anybody, and I got something to do with that body. I got the streets on my back, carry it like I'm moving a body. I told them to shoot 100 rounds, like he's trying to movie the body ready for war, like I get all types of cash, I'm a general. Yikes. An overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. Next, on May 18th of 2018, Mr. Williams was the subject of a traffic stop for speeding. Involved in the stop were two vehicles, one being driven by Williams and another vehicle closely following Williams, containing 4 individuals who were armed with numerous weapons with high-capacity magazines, to include AK-47 with a 30-round magazine, an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. Ooh, yikes. All right, so we have May of 2018. Mr. Huey here was charged with theft by receiving stolen property when he possessed property, to wit, a firearm, the property of Mr. Smith. He knew or should have known it had been stolen. Mr. Nichols, October of 2018, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. He had previously been charged with possession of MDMA with intent to distribute, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. So now we're in January of 2019. Mr. Williams did appear in a video released on YouTube titled Bad Boy, stating some things I had on, and lots of things he stated here. Next, February of 2023. Oh my gosh. We've got Blaylock and Ryan unlawfully and with malice aforethought committed a felony offense of murder by causing the death of Mr. Holmes, an associate of another gang, a human being, by shooting Mr. Holmes with a firearm in violation of Georgia law. Yikes. Okay. Next, February of 2019, Mr. Blaylock and Ryan are charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, a firearm. Here, they used against Mr. Mitchell, an associate of another gang, by shooting at, towards, or in the direction. Next, we have February again, Mr. Blaylock and Ryan, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And this one was a firearm involving a Mr. Uten, an associate of another gang. This one is February 24th, posed for a photo released on social media, flashing the YSL gang hand sign with the caption, "This," and a green heart emoji. Ryan, an associate, did appear in a video released on Ryan's Instagram account displaying money with the caption, "This," being a rival street gang, an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. April 2019, Sumlin was charged with burglary in the 2nd degree when, without authority and intent to commit a theft therein, he entered an unoccupied cargo container of CSX Transportation located in Atlanta, Fulton County, Georgia. All right. Did another one there. He was busy. He was very busy. All right. So oh my gosh. All right, let's zip through these. I'm going to go a little bit faster through these last overt acts, everybody, because I would like to get into the other counts. There are like 60 counts total. So I will kind of jet through this next batch. So we have Fleetwood in 2019, hijacking a motor vehicle. Here, obtaining a 2017 Dodge Charger from the person. Mr. Battle by force and violence in violation of the law. Mr. Fleetwood charged with armed robbery for the same incident. Again, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. And he had been charged previously with conspiracy to commit robbery. Mr. Huey was charged with armed robbery by taking property, a debit card, U.S. currency, and jewelry from an immediate presence of another person. Here. Next, we have Mr. Huey, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. So he used a firearm here, which could have resulted in serious bodily injury of the person of Mr. Maynard by striking him in the face with said firearm. Next, Mr. Huey, again, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, a firearm again, pointing in the direction of Mr. Jenkins, and Mr. Jenkins being in 28 guys total. Mr. Jenkins in reasonable apprehension. Next, we've got attempted murder against the person of Mr. Howard by shooting Mr. Howard with a firearm. Next, we have possession of a firearm by a convicted felon here. that takes us then to May of 2019 with Mr. Fleetwood being charged with participation in criminal street activity for that attempted murder. Also, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Again, Farley, Lee, Nichols, and Stillwell appeared in a video released on social media wearing red and a YSL necklace, stating some things. Mr. Williams again posted another image as well. Yeah, 28 defendants, 28. Arnold and Williams here did appear in a YouTube video titled Just How It Is with Williams, stating, I escaped okay, and then lots of other words. Stillwell here was charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. We're still in 2019, everybody. And then participation in criminal street gang activity, a burglary, possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, possession of a firearm, and so on. Defendant Garlington did appear in a video released with some other bad language. We're skipping through, everybody. Oh my gosh. Okay, Mr. BB, or Baby, was charged with possession of cocaine, and Garlington and Lee had a conversation regarding a rival gang here. Huey and Williams had a conversation where they were talking about a vehicle they were going to steal. Farley, Greer, Kendrick, and Lee put a video together called Mob Ties, where the defendants were flashing gang signs with lyrics stating lots of bad things here about bad homicides. I can't repeat the words, everybody. It's not good. I agree. 103 looks very important. So, defendants were flashing gang signs and lyrics that said this. I'm trying to find some words. Why would I lie? Never switching up. Hail Mary. I'm about. Like, why would I lie? Yeah. Why would I lie? I got mob ties. Tell them to spin. An overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. You can repeat it. I know. I'm not up for that, everybody. I'm just not. I won't do it justice, all right? Next, we've got, he's been charged with the sale of marijuana. Yeah, this isn't really my forte, everybody. All right, so sale of marijuana in violation of Georgia law. We have possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. Same guy, so Bebe, again, theft of receiving stolen property. Yes, exactly. Firearm here. We have another one, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, participation in criminal street activity. Mr. Kitchens appeared in a video released called Fox 5, wearing pendants and other gang colors. Next, okay, we're in 2020. We've got Farley and Lee here, appeared in a YouTube video with lots of bad words. And Arnold and Kendrick posed for a photo released on Instagram, again showing gang association. On the 23rd of July, Fleetwood posed for a photo with tattoos and gang colors. Next, Kendrick here posed for a photo released on social media standing on the vehicle here, being the leader of a rival street gang. Next, we've got Greer, theft by receiving stolen property. He possessed property, a firearm, that he knew or should have known was stolen. Stillwell here did post for a photo released on Stillwell's Instagram account with captions and gang information. Huey here was charged with armed robbery for taking property, an iPhone, from the immediate presence of another person. Huey was also charged with hijacking a motor vehicle in the first degree by unlawfully while in possession of a firearm. That's what makes it a first degree. Obtaining a 2016 Buick LaCrosse from a Mr. Holloman by force. Mr. Huey also was charged with armed robbery here. The iPhone and off of Mr. Copage by use of an offensive weapon. Lee and Stillwell posed for a photo released on Stillwell's Instagram account with gang language and gang colors in signage. Next, Farley here, have another photo. Winfrey, we have another photo with lots of language. Winfrey, another photo again. Huey, these kinds of specific threats. Sumlin, posing for a photo. Kendrick Kitchens Williams appeared in a video. Sumlin posed for a photo. Lee Stevens Williams engaged in a conversation where Williams spoke about the association. Sledge posed for a photo, and Williams released a song on YouTube titled Really Be Slime with lyrics that included lots of words. Oh my gosh. All right. This one I can't even repeat. I even wrote a note to myself. Do not repeat. Here. So that's 130. We have Arnold Kitchens Williams again in another video that was released. Here, again, another conversation between all of these guys. I know I'm fast forwarding, but I would like to get to the other counts. We're still on count 1, everybody. So we're kind of jetting through this. All right, so next we have pose for photo, another photo, possession of oxycodone. We have possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, participation of criminal street activity. Here we've got another photo that was released. Next we have a recorded video call with another person who was an inmate at the Fulton County Jail. The video call being recorded in the normal course of business. And during said call, the member stated he needed something. Williams pointed to Huey to take care of Mender's request and flashed Mender the YSL gang sign, an overt act. Hello, everything in a jail is recorded, everybody. Next, we have Huey and Williams posing for a photo. Farley releasing on social media wearing clothing. Kendrick is also an associate posing for a photo here. Bebe and Eppinger posing for a photo, and then another photo here. All right, everybody, we're almost to the next batch of counts. Actually, we're really not. We're like 20 pages out. Everybody, I'm skipping ahead at this point. Forgive me, everyone. I'm skipping ahead. I really would like to get into the counts. All right, because there's like 50 of them. So we'll skip ahead. Photographs, bad deeds, lots of other things. All the RICO. Okay, there you go. Please do. Okay, good. I don't want to deprive you of this valuable information, but I think the counts are more valuable. All right. All right, here we go. All right, everyone. So count 2. That was all count 1 for the RICO. Again, that was a common enterprise, and that's how it was charged. Now, count 2, we have Bradford, Cobb, Kendrick, McMullen, and Stillwell charged with murder for the said accused, words, exactly. So on the 10th day of January of 2015, did unlawfully cause the death of Mr. Thomas. So we have homicide for count 2. Count 3, we have armed robbery, which we did go into a little bit here. The intent to commit a theft, did unlawfully take property, a purse, a debit card, U.S. currency, and jewelry from another person. So that's count 3. Count 4. We have aggravated assault with a deadly weapon here. An assault of the person, Mr. Maynard, by striking him in the face with a firearm. That's count 4. Count 5, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon here. So we have an assault against Mr. Jenkins by pointing at, towards, and in the direction of Mr. Jenkins with the firearm. Count 6 is possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. So the possession of a firearm was used during an aggravated assault. So that's why he was charged that way. Now, how much damage is done during the assault is the level that we charge the assault at, just so that you know. So if there's permanent damage, a broken bone versus, permanent, mutilated damage, those kinds of things will change the different levels of assault that we charge at. Count 7, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony here. So we had an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. So those, you're going to get charged twice with that. Theft by receiving stolen property here. He received a Glock handgun that was second-degree robbery. Right. So real quick, everybody, let me... So when we have a robbery, let me just explain how it works in my jurisdiction here. We'll have first degree, second degree, third degree, fourth degree. I don't know. We go down to fifth degree. So this would be up to $1,000. This would be up to $5,000, $10,000, $25,000, $25,000 or more. So this would be first degree, second degree, third degree, fourth degree, fifth degree. It's completely based on the value of what was stolen, because with robbery, you have theft as well as the assault going on. Now, with an assault, that's another set. With an assault, or some places will call it a battery. It depends on your jurisdiction. We have felony assault. In my jurisdiction, we have what we call an Aggie. Then we have a serious. So these are misdemeanors. And then we have a simple misdemeanor. So these are the levels that we have. So a simple misdemeanor could just be spitting on someone. A serious misdemeanor could be a bruise. That would be considered a serious misdemeanor. An aggravated misdemeanor could be a sprain. Possibly a, trying to think of the last Aggie that I did. Could be a broken bone, as long as it's like a broken bone that heals okay, not like a specialty bone, I guess. And then a felony is anything that has permanent harm. So permanent. So honestly, like the loss of a tooth could be a felony. We would consider that a felony because you would have to get that completely replaced. That's a complete loss. That's a total loss. Or a loss of a finger, loss of part of a limb. Those would all be considered felony. Meanwhile, an aggravated would be something like a broken cheekbone, which is a case I had once. That would just be an aggravated, or a serious, again, would be a bruise or some kind of mark that's been left, but no permanent damage. So depending on the amount of damage done to the victim is how you charge the assault. So if there is only a bruise or just a mark, you would charge it here as a misdemeanor. If there was something broken or a sprain, it would be a higher misdemeanor or a low felony, depending on your jurisdiction. And then if you've got permanent loss, like a tooth, or you've lost a finger or an ear, although an ear is debatable. Sometimes they don't consider ears to be a full felony because it's cartilage, but still a full loss of an ear will depend on your state code again. But permanent loss will put it into the grounds of a felony. What about mental trauma? That's permanent. Yeah, it certainly is. But that kind of, that is hard to put in front of a jury to figure out what the scale is for that. So, whenever we deal with any kind of mental, things that occur, we show mental anguish through the physical parts, because it's hard for our jury to conceptualize mental anguish itself. So we show it through physical problems, like sleep, depression, weight loss, usually hair loss, is another one. But these are loss of work. So we have work hours that get impacted. We show it through a physical means. So what happened? We have GI issues now. We have sleeping issues. That's how we show it. So that tends to be the easiest way to present mental anguish to a jury, because it's easier for them to understand. Yeah, ears are tricky. Ears are tricky, everybody, because, it is a loss, but just by losing the cartilage, you're not actually losing your hearing. Meanwhile, you can lose your hearing without losing your ear. So you've got permanent loss with hearing loss, but not by losing your ear. So it can get really complicated. But a lot of times, the biggest problems we have is when we have multiple people involved in Ears are tricky. Yeah, they're tricky. Yeah, ears are tricky. They're tricky. Fingers aren't as tricky. If it's broken, it's fine. If it's gone, it's a felony. So that's really how that goes down. I guess I assumed everybody knew that, and I apologize. I just thought everybody knew that. Everything's on a scale. Everything has an amount assigned to it. So amount of harm will determine the amount of which level. So here we've got aggravated assault. So again, that's what I was talking about before, where we have the felony level, we have what I'm calling an Aggie. So I guess here they call it an aggravated here in Georgia, and then they would have like a serious, and then they would have a simple. So, and then the punishment would be 30 days in jail, 1 year in jail, 2 years in jail, and then 5 years or over would be a felony. So that's how they're categorizing it there. Nothing about this. It's okay that you don't. It's okay. So aggravated assault has to do with the kind of injury that was done here. So in this particular case, we had an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon involving a person, Mr. Jenkins. So here, party to a crime with a person unknown to the grand jury did unlawfully have on and within arm's reach of accused person a firearm during the commission of an aggravated assault. So could have been some kind of broken bone. It could have been some kind of serious marks left, sprains, those kinds of things. Well, sprains are going to be more here, but an aggravated is going to have a serious loss, but not necessarily a permanent loss. So maybe loss of function instead. And with a deadly weapon, that always will kick it up. Anytime a weapon's involved, if you have a simple assault, so if someone is just spitting at someone, okay, but they're holding a weapon at the time, instead of it being a simple, now you're all the way up to an aggravated misdemeanor. So even if you're just spitting at somebody but you're holding a weapon, now you're all the way up here. Now if you happen to leave a mark on that person, now you're up at a felony level. So the weapon exacerbates the charge. It increases the charge. Yep. You defended someone you knew was guilty but proven innocent. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that's because I'm lucky. I've been lucky in my career. I've been very lucky. I have defended people that were clearly guilty, but the way that I represented them, we were able to get plea deals. So we worked on pleas, and accountability was had. So rather than maybe 25 years prison, it was 10 years prison. So I did my best, but there was not a finding of complete innocence. That's something that was very difficult for me to do. And I've been lucky I didn't have to. Thank goodness. Thank goodness for that. All right, everybody. So now that I've gone through, so what if the defendant didn't know it was loaded? It doesn't matter if it's loaded or not loaded. A weapon is a weapon. It will exacerbate every situation. Every situation will get kicked up to the next level. All right. So, great questions, everybody. Great questions. Were you ever scared of the person you're defending? Oh my gosh, absolutely. Absolutely. I had several people. One guy in particular, I went in and talked to him in jail. He had been charged with a domestic, and I had an attorney I was working for, so he wasn't my specific client, but I remember sitting in there in counsel quarters with him, and, at any moment, I was like, this is it. This is it. This is going to be the end of me. And just, hoping for the best. Luckily, I was able to leave the room in one piece. But yeah, it happens. It happens. Sometimes it just happens. If I feel threatened to the point. Well, right. I mean, a bat's a little bit different than a gun, too, or a weapon of that nature as well. So, you've kind of got equal force. Have you ever refused to do a case? Yes, I have. I have refused to do a case. Yeah, it's scary. It is scary, but it's part of the job when you do criminal work. It just kind of happens. It's just part of the work. Everybody's got the war stories for sure. The cases that I had the hardest time that I would not take is where, and honestly, again, they were domestic cases where both people had been charged and we couldn't really figure out who it was that was the first aggressor because they seemed equally responsible for the damage done to each other. So I remember distinctly a case very much like that where I had said I cannot represent in this particular situation because I couldn't figure out a way to go forward in the case, arguing that the person who wanted me to represent them was not the first aggressor. I just didn't have enough evidence to be able to go forward with that premise. So I could not do the case. Yes, true story, VC, true story. My attorney friend had a case where a client told her something he shouldn't have and she had to drop him. Yeah, that's happened too. I had a very dear friend who was court appointed, representing someone, and he blew up her car. So, I mean, it happens. It absolutely happens. It's hard. It's not an easy job for sure. It's a difficult job. So, when I talk about how much an ear's worth, that's not a lot. That's not a lot to me compared to what could happen. But yeah, I mean, that it happens. She didn't take any court-appointed work for a while after that. But she got back on the horse again. It happens. I mean, it happens, everybody. It's just part of it. That's the other thing, too, when I think of these law clerks and various people who are being threatened here in the Trump cases because they're just doing their jobs. And so you're used to getting that kind of stuff just on the daily. But meanwhile, now you've got these other people, this special group of people that are after them. My uncle was a prosecutor, major security installed. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I had security. When I was a prosecutor, I had to have security on my house. Absolutely. I always took different ways home. I always parked my car in weird places. That's just the nature of the beast, Serious mental health issues. True. And there's just not enough health care. There's just not enough part of it for sure. Is there any more news on the gag order? No, not anything new, Daniel. Yeah, there's a lot of mental health issues going on. And if you ever get a chance to go on a tour of a prison willingly, was so upset as well. Why she was so upset. Yes. And yeah, exactly. And we, we sit and we watch and we see like, okay, he's so upset. But when you've been in the system and you've worked in the system and you've, had to hide in your car so you didn't get shot. I mean, that's real life. Meanwhile, he's like, oh, I can't say what I want. And I'm like, boo-hoo, dude. It's ridiculous sometimes. I don't mean to belittle it, but I kind of do. It's frustrating because I'm like, you don't understand what happens in the system. We work really hard here to do the job. And it's very frustrating. It's frustrating from an outside perspective. Right, or have the court hold on lockdown. Oh, exactly. Oh, exactly. So, I mean, it's hard. And I'm not saying that screw-ups don't happen. They absolutely do happen. But, for the day in, the day out, the people in the trenches are the ones getting attacked. It's a lot. Yes, it's a lot. All right, everyone, let me shoot through the last of these counts. Yeah, I know it is. It's it's a lot. All right, count 7, count 8. I just went through that. We have aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Count 8, theft or receiving stolen property. Count 9, violation of a Controlled Substance Act. Now imagine too, as we go through these counts, Miss Fani is prosecuting this case with 28 defendants, although I think a couple of them have pled out. They have all of these counts of homicide, of carjacking, of aggravated assault, all of these terrible crimes, and she's dealing with them every single day. She's dealing with taking all of these people to trial. So, you know, when she's got a motion from Cheese Bro saying, I should be in federal court, you know, like, what is she going to respond to that? How is she going to respond? Miss Bonnie is going to be like, I don't care where you need to be. I've got stuff to do. You know, they just are. They're so busy. They're so busy. So let me flip just the last few pages here because I do want to bring back the Georgia indictment and the other indictment, everybody. So again, we've got 10, 11, 12. I'm trying to stay on target here, but I'm getting sidetracked so easily. Oh my gosh. 13, 14, 15 here. So armed robbery, theft by receiving, aggravated assault again, deadly weapon, hijacking motor vehicle, possession of a firearm, participation in criminal street gang activity, which there's quite a bit of that here. So violation of Georgia controlled substance, deadly weapon again, armed robbery, participation in criminal street gang. I'm pushing through because I want to bring out the other Georgia indictment here. So possession of a firearm, again, theft by taking, attempted murder. I'm skipping, possession again, participation, criminal street gang. So we flip all the way through, everybody, until we get to the last count. So our very last count is count 64 and 65. So we've got possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and then we have possession of a firearm by a convicted felon previously convicted. So those are 65 counts. Now, we've got the RICO as count 1. We had 65 counts, 28. Now let's pull out the other indictment so we can talk about that just a little bit here. Again, because we are kind of comparing and contrasting, I'm not getting into all of the details of this particular indictment, but I think we've done enough to be able to kind of compare that to what's been charged here. So here, as you can see again, we've got the RICO case charged as number 1, and then we have 41 counts. And it's perjury, people. I mean, in the one we just saw, we had murder. Here we have influencing witnesses, conspiracy to commit election fraud, conspiracy to defraud the state, solicitation of violation of oath of a public officer, false statements in writings. You know, all of these offenses in here, conspiracy again, forgery, false statements, criminal intent to influence witnesses, all the way back in here. So we've got 41 counts total with the RICO starting with count 1 and 19 defendants. So, I mean, if you're funny, you're going to see a pretty significant difference between these two cases, right? So if you're getting 5,000 filings from all of these different 19 defendants in this RICO case compared to your other RICO cases, I think it's going to, you know, it's going to hit different, I guess is what I'm trying to say with that, which is my whole point, that, you know, it's not like people are being singled out here to be attacked. We're charging this the same way we charged the other case, only they're just different sets of crimes. Whatever they paid, and it's never enough. I know. But now we did go through the RICO piece, and let me again just remind everybody of our Georgia RICO here and how she set out the RICO charge. So again, they went through all of the counts that we had, just like the other indictment did, all 41 counts here, and then count 1, everybody got charged with, just like the other 25 defendants. She set it out the exact same way. We have the introduction here, so setting out what she thought was the criminal enterprise and the manner and methods of the enterprise. So let's take a minute and just compare and contrast what we've just kind of gone through. So in this one, we've got the enterprise that she set out, and she's talking about the history of the gang, the identifiers for the gang, where they're located, as well as what their purpose was. So the whole purpose is for their reputation. So let's take a look and see how she set this out here. Manner and methods. Again, in the previous one, they went through the racketeering activities. Here, the manner and methods used by defendants and other members and associates of the enterprise to further the goals of the enterprise to achieve its purposes included, but were not limited to the following. It's the exact same language for this RICO charge. Number 1, false statements to and solicitation of state legislatures. So members of the enterprise, including several of the defendants, appeared at hearings in Fulton County, Georgia, before members of the Georgia General Assembly on December 3rd. At these hearings, members of the enterprise made false statements concerning fraud in the November 3rd, 2020 presidential election. The purpose of these false statements was to persuade Georgia legislators to reject lawful electoral votes by the duly elected and qualified presidential electors from Georgia. Members of the enterprise corruptly solicited Georgia legislators instead to unlawfully appoint their own presidential electors for the purpose of casting electoral votes for Donald Trump. Members of the enterprise also make false statements to state legislatures during the hearings and meetings in Arizona, Michigan, Pennsylvania in November and December of 2020 to persuade legislators in those states to unlawfully appoint their own presidential electors. It's so different, right? It's just so different. The contrast is so stark from what's going on. And we can contrast it even with the Cop City RICO as well. So we had the enterprise here was to prevent the building in Cop City. We had the enterprise being a gang and reputation in the Young Thug case. And then here, the whole goal was so that he could remain in power. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. So let's, since I do have this open, I would like to go through the enterprise. I think that that element of it is something that's very important. So let's talk about the enterprise a little bit, again, just to contrast it. Yes, exactly, Jim. And if you compare that again with Cop City, I mean, that's even way further out of the water. I mean, some people are saying, well, this is completely bogus. But comparing this to the gang RICOs and then comparing it to the Cop City RICO, it's a lot. It's a lot. All right, so let's go through this enterprise here. We went through the gang one, so let's go through the Trump one. At all times relevant to this count of the indictment, the defendants, as well as others not named as defendants, unlawfully conspired and endeavored to conduct and participate in criminal enterprise in Fulton County, Georgia, and elsewhere. And then we've listed out all of the defendants here. Unindicted co-conspirator, individual 1 through individual 30, and others known and unknown to the grand jury. So not only do we have our 19 defendants here, although several have pled out, but now we also have 30 other individuals as well. Next, we have here, we've got constituted a criminal organization whose members and associates engaged in various related criminal activities, including but not limited to false statements and writings, impersonating a public officer, forgery, filing false documents, influencing witnesses, computer theft, computer trespass, computer invasion of privacy, conspiracy to defraud the state, acts involving theft and perjury. Again, very similar to our gang case. In the gang case, they're saying we're trying to basically rob people in order to get money and boost our reputation. And here, we're trying to keep one particular person in power. So there's a lot of similarities, I think. There's a lot of similarities between the two. So Miss Fawny's not playing around when she's charging these RICO cases. She's not. And you can tell this huge difference between the RICO that was charged for Trump, the RICO that was charged for Young Thug, and the RICO that was charged for Cop City, which was charged by their attorney general. So fascinating, everybody. Fascinating study of the law, in my humble opinion. So there you have it, everybody. There's kind of our compare and contrast and kind of our walkthrough, our quick walkthrough. The RICO case for Mr. Thug. What's Cop City? Yes, so Cop City is a RICO case where multiple people have been charged for protesting the building of a new facility. Yes, the overt violence is very different. The structure's the same, though, isn't it? I mean, the mode is the same. way that she's going about the case is exactly the same. It doesn't matter if you're committing homicide or robbing people, or if you're calling up people and asking for political favors. It doesn't matter what your wrongful acts are. If they're wrongful acts, she's going to put you into a RICO, and she's going to charge you with that criminal enterprise. It's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. A lot of people have broken the law for Trump. Absolutely. Yep. But I'm very glad. Sarah could recommend this indictment. I think it's very interesting. It's enlightening to see other perspectives on how Ms. Fani's dealing with things. We're going to have a trial going on in the Young Thug case very, very soon. So my understanding is that it's going to trial in January. So we will start to see quite a bit of that. Wrong is wrong regardless. It is. Yeah, exactly. What level of wrong? It's still wrong, isn't it? So we have a lot to talk about there. So with that, that was my last piece that I had. Thank you for explaining it. Trial is now. Oh, the trial is right now. Okay, is it? I wasn't sure. I knew it was coming up, so I wasn't sure. When is the Georgina's court date for Trump? They don't have it set yet. They don't have a hard date set. We have motions that are not motions in limine due tomorrow, but other than that, we don't have a hard date set. Thank you so much. Absolutely. You're very welcome, everybody. This was very interesting. Absolutely. I think it was very helpful, again, to illustrate the differences between the two. Opening statements. Really? Oh my gosh. Oh no, they were flubbed. Oh no. How about Cannon? I'm not overly concerned about Cannon at the moment. I would say, hold on here, everybody. I'm not too concerned with her at the moment. I know we have a lot of different orders that have come down that have been put on hold, but I think we're going to be okay. Yes, thank you, Suze, for coming by. So tonight, everybody, was our last night of scheduled material, the Mr. Thug RICO indictment. Thank you all for joining me. We've had a busy week. It's been a fun week. We started with our sub-chat only, going into the motion for a directed verdict in the New York case. We went through the Colorado 14th Amendment case, appellate brief. We did an update on Miss Carroll's case out of New York. We went through the abortion lawsuit that's going on in Texas. And then tonight we went through Mr. Thug's RICO indictment. It was kind of a fast lightning round there towards the end, but interesting nevertheless. So we've had a very full week, lots of fun material. So good wrapping. Yikes. For sure. All right, everybody. I will go ahead and sign off for tonight. I appreciate. Yes. Well, thanks, Sarah. And I thank you for your suggestion. It was amazing. Yes, this month has gone very fast. So I may or may not be on tomorrow. I'll see what my schedule is. If I do come on, it will just be to do a summary of what's happened in the cases this week. So I don't have any hard-hitting knowledge for tomorrow, but we might do a wrap-up of Trump's cases for this week if I do come back on tomorrow. So thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out with me tonight. It's been great. I always appreciate it. So many interesting comments and questions. Always great to see you all. So take care, everyone. Yes, no problem. Yeah, it was, we were a little bit shaky tonight, but we made it work. So take care, everyone. I'll be back again very soon. So good night.